What if you were to stay awake for 15 days straight? What would happen to your mind and body? This question led to one of the most chilling psychological experiments known as the Russian sleep experiment. This dark chapter in the annals of psychological research unfolded in the late 1940s, when a group of Soviet researchers decided to push the boundaries of human endurance. 5 prisoners were selected for this study, their freedom offered as a tantalizing prize for the unimaginable task of staying awake for a fortnight. The researchers facilitated this sleep deprivation using a mysterious gas stimulant, its composition as perplexing today as it was back then. The aim was to observe the effects of prolonged wakefulness on the human mind and body, but what ensued was a horrifying descent into the abyss of madness. As we dive into the chilling details of this experiment, remember, this is not for the faint of heart. The experiment began with 5 prisoners in a sealed environment, promised freedom if they could stay awake for 30 days. In the confines of the chamber, the subjects were under constant observation, their every move monitored. The initial days of the experiment seemed like a breeze for these men. They engaged in conversations, shared stories, and showed no signs of distress. It seemed as though the promise of freedom served as a strong motivator, making the task of staying awake appear manageable. However, as the hours turned into days, subtle changes began to surface. Conversations started to lose coherence, and their laughter echoed with an unsettling undertone. Despite these emerging signs, the researchers pressed on, noting down every detail, every shift in behavior. After all, it was a test of endurance, a challenge against the natural rhythms of the human body. But as the days wore on, things took a nightmarish turn. After a few days, the subjects began to show severe psychological disturbances. The initial signs of trouble were subtle. They started with whispers of paranoia, a sense of unease that hung in the air like a dense fog. The subjects began to distrust one another, their conversations laced with suspicion and fear. As the days turned into a week, the paranoia began to morph into something far more sinister. Hallucinations started to take hold, the lines between reality and the chimeras of their minds blurring. They reported seeing things that weren't there, hearing voices that whispered in the silence of the night. And then the self-mutilation began. Each subject became a canvas of their own torment, their bodies marked with the physical manifestation of their deteriorating mental state. Their screams echoed off the chamber walls, a chilling symphony of human suffering. When the chamber was finally opened, the sight that met the researchers was nothing short of horrific. The subjects were unrecognizable, their bodies and minds twisted into grotesque parodies of their former selves. They had descended into a state of madness, their sanity eroded by the relentless onslaught of sleep deprivation. The chamber, once a sterile environment of scientific observation, had become a tableau of terror. The air was thick with the stench of fear and the metallic tang of blood. The walls were smeared with the macabre artwork of the subjects' self-inflicted wounds. The researchers could only stare in horrified fascination at the monstrous transformation of the subjects. The experiment, designed to push the boundaries of human endurance, had instead pushed the boundaries of human suffering. The results of the Russian sleep experiment were so horrifying that it was immediately shut down. The chamber was sealed, a tomb for the shattered remnants of the subjects' sanity. The echoes of their screams still lingered in the air, a haunting reminder of the descent into madness. The Russian sleep experiment, a tale of horror and science gone awry, leaves us with several haunting questions. It forces us to confront the ethical implications of such an experiment. Pushing human endurance to its limits for the sake of knowledge is a dangerous game, as this experiment so chillingly demonstrates. It's a reminder that the pursuit of scientific understanding should never overshadow the fundamental respect for human dignity and life. Questions also persist about the validity of the experiment's results. Can sleep deprivation truly drive a person to such extremes of madness? Or are these results a chilling testament to the power of psychological manipulation and extreme conditions? The debate continues, illustrating the complexity of the human mind and the mysteries that still surround the effects of sleep deprivation. The Russian sleep experiment also impacts our understanding of sleep deprivation. It underscores the vital role that rest plays in our mental and physical health. Sleep isn't merely a time of rest. It's a period of essential mental processing and physical restoration. Depriving ourselves of it can lead to dire consequences. as the experiment horrifyingly suggests. While the Russian sleep experiment may be a chilling tale from the past, it serves as a grim reminder of the importance of ethical considerations in scientific research.